roll on the field, roll off.
Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patric Young and Terry Norvelle.
Here we go. One college football semifinal game is down and in the books. One is on deck not long from now, coming up at 7:30. And then, of course, we are sitting on 6 super wildcard games in the NFL, 2 on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and 1 on Monday. Goodness gracious. If you like football, this is your time of year, definitely. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Friday edition. The Young and Norvelle Show coming to you, of course, from our Friday home. We love it. We have a fun time down here. And I tell you, all of our locations treat us good, and this is no exception. Boy, I walk in, these good folks at BRIX, JAX Beach, man, they are waiting on me, and what do you need? And good people, and they know how to put on a good event, be it a party, be it a fun night out, be it a huge sporting event. They can handle a big crowd. If you're looking for a place to watch tonight's game, or any and all of the NFL playoff games this weekend, yes, you will be with a lot of people here, but they handle a big crowd. I tell Jason Reynolds this all the time, the GM here at BRIX. Man, they do a super job when it's packed. And I know a lot of people really enjoy getting out and watching the big sporting events with a big crowd. The downside is a lot of times you go to places and they just can't handle the crowd. That is not the case at all, and you can take it to the bank. I give you my word. They do a super job here at BRIX, JAX Beach, including the standing Friday ribeye special, $12.99. They're starting to pop out of that. I see them running out of that door, that kitchen door. That includes 2 side items. You can't beat it. Notre Dame pulls out a late field goal win over Penn State. Not the prettiest football game last night, and the main reason is both quarterbacks were bad last night. I've had my concerns on as we'll welcome Patric Young to the show. I've had my concerns. I've watched Drew Aller. Drew Aller, coming out of high school, was a mega recruit, 5-star kid, went to Penn State. Patric, Notre Dame pulls it out. It was competitive. It was ugly, and man, the quarterback play was terrible on both sides.
They scored more than I thought they would score.
Yeah.
I definitely thought the game was not going to leave the teens. But man, and this goes to show with what you reiterate oftentimes, Terry, we got 2 of the 4 teams left that their quarterbacks will not be starters on any NFL roster.
No.
I mean, unless the guy in front of them gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because Riley Leonard and Drew Allard, they are not NFL starting franchise quarterbacks.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it was tough to watch at times, and then poor Drew,
especially
Allard.
Riley Leonard, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, Leonard gave him a little, with his legs at least, but man, Drew Allard, they get the ball tied with 47 seconds, I think it was. You saw the play. They had popped a big run the play before, and they were out by the 35-yard line or so. First down, 48 seconds, all timeouts, and he gets pressured.
All timeouts.
Yeah, at all timeouts.
But how old, Terry? How old are you as a quarterback when you're taught to not throw the ball across your body and across the field like that? How old are you when you?
Really, that's quarterback 101, and he was pressured, which made it worse, and he was kind of falling away on his back foot also, and he threw it diagonally across the field, and bless his heart, obviously he was choked up after the game. He did face the media. And when he was asked about it, I didn't really love his answer. I think he said he was attempting to ground the ball, to throw it in the dirt. But if you're trying to throw it in the dirt, then you throw it in the dirt. He was trying to sneak that in.
Trying to throw it in the dirt. The ball goes like 5 yards.
Yeah,
I've seen quarterbacks throw it in the dirt. They throw it like 5 yards. Tops,
and there was space. There was plenty of space to do what you just said. Throw it 5 yards in front of the two guys. There was no other people in front, right? He could have easily buried it in the turf and lived to see another day. He's going to have to live with that. That's tough. That is really tough. Tough way for James Franklin to lose another.
And one thing I do appreciate, because sometimes we got to check the media. They're trying to make it about Marcus Freeman being the first black coach. And I'm not going to say don't overlook that it's never happened before, but he responds and says, this isn't about me. It's about the team and what they've accomplished. So I'm a part of this, and, any minority or whatever that I hope they can be be great in this position to get it. But, we need more people in general to lead young men. And I'm like, man, can't sports just be about sports? About this, Notre Dame,
I'm with
a
you.
team we haven't seen in forever make it anywhere,
Yeah, I'm
happy for Marcus Freeman, though. I'm really happy for him.
I'm glad.
Sadly, I don't think they stand a chance. I don't think they stand a chance if Ohio State wins. I don't think they stand a chance, Terry.
Oh man, Ohio State looks good. We'll get to that game in a moment, but I like what you just said about Marcus Freeman, the Notre Dame football coach. He's won this playoff. I mean, he has acquitted himself real well. He's looked composed. He's looked organized. He's looked like a head coach. I don't know. He looks like he's got some CEO head coaching traits in him. Not saying he doesn't. It doesn't hurt that he's not a bad. He's a handsome guy and he's fit. I think all of that adds into helping him. And I love how. If Notre Dame fans know this, that after the Northern Illinois game, I think they've watched that game, the film of it, every week after. Like we're never going back to feeling that again. Yeah. The handsome guy and fit helping out. I know it's helped me my whole life. It's helped me a lot. That. Hey, let me say this about Marcus Freeman, and I'm not trying to run him out of Notre Dame, but what I just described a moment ago, he looks organized. He looks authoritative. He looks like he runs a really, I don't mean overbearing, but a tight ship. And I could see, whereas a guy like Kirby Smart, I never have looked at Kirby Smart with all of his national titles and SEC titles, all of his wins. I don't see NFL written on Kirby Smart. You look at Marcus Freeman, and it wouldn't surprise me that the NFL boys are going, "Whoa, look at this guy now. He's calm. He comes off as mature. I can't. He looks like he could. 5 years.
I'm glad you just I'm glad you just said that, Terry, because I want to add on to what you're doing here. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No, go ahead.
are any of these four coaches that are, obviously the one that wins it all is going to have the most eyes, but are any of these four coaches you think could be getting a job or getting eyes? Would you like any of these coaches for the NFL, for the Jaguars next year?
No, not next year. I don't think any of them would be ready. But I could easily, of the four that were still going, and we'll count Franklin as still going, of the final four coaches, I'll tell you one thing. Freeman goes out and wins another couple, 2-3 years. The NFL boys will start knocking on his door because he gives off that. The NFL is different, man. You're coaching men. You're coaching grown men, and it's a different style. And he's got that calm, authoritative.
Dude, look at Sirianni, and I'm glad you said that. Examples of what you're Sirianni.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell for sure. Like he's, and you might say Dan might be on the not say extreme, but like when you talk players coach, that dude is the standard of a players coach. But yeah, like I don't know if like a Pete Carroll, a Ron Rivera, even a Bill Belichick would be able to relate as well or motivate us, because I don't look at Bill Belichick as being like that. He's not a hurrah guy. No, that's not him.
I don't think so either.
And it worked out for him. But I wonder. I know we're also antsy and curious to see how it's going to go for him in college, right?
Oh yeah. That's going to be one of the great stories, one of the great off-season stories. And I still can't believe we're going to have games where, remember, we pulled the schedule up. You're going to have Hall of Fame, first ballot, greatest NFL coach in history, possibly, Bill Belichick on one sideline coaching against the Richmond Spiders head coach, whoever that is. It's going to be funny, isn't it?
Hey, it's an intimidation factor. That's another reason why he's going to win games. Just these head coaches are going to be intimidated by, oh man, I got to outcoach the great Bill Belichick and all that. Yeah. So,
hey, Pat, staying with last night's game, I want to know how you watched the game, and same with Zach. We'll try and see if he's not too busy back there. We'll get his input.
Terry, I got to be honest. I hate interrupting you, but I got to be honest.
Go ahead.
I watched a lot of the game with the back of my eyelids.
Yeah, hey man, that's okay.
Or with the front of my eyelid. So,
but you've seen what happened, you've heard, and Zach, if you can pop up as well. What I was going to say was, I don't think I watched it any different than reality. Penn State kind of looked like they were going to win that game for about 3/4 of the game. Penn State, but they did. Now, do I watch a lot of Penn State football? No, but I watched probably 3 Penn State games a year from start to finish. They play, the big games. They'll play a big game against Michigan, a big game against Ohio State, their bowl game. Every time I watch Penn State within the last 5 or 6 years, they seem to have the same MO. They start out and they kind of dominate the game, right? They start running the ball down. I don't care who it is. Every time I watch Penn State, they're running the ball, and about somewhere in the second quarter or so, they get away from what was working. I don't know. I thought Penn State last night went over 200. I think they had 204 yards rushing, which is a good night. If they would have just stayed with their game plan, Pat, they were on their way to a 300-yard rushing night, and you win games when you rush for 300 yards.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see teams the record or history of teams that have lost ever running for 300 yards. It's got to be like 2.
Yeah.
But now to your point, man, and what drives me, like, I don't know what. So look, Ohio State, not counting this year, the last few years, R.J. Barrett, C.J. Stroud, you go on, they've had guys that can really spin it.
Yeah.
I mean, guys that are getting 5 touchdown passes, rarely, getting 6. C.J. Stroud was really known for that. Penn State, since Franklin's been there, he's never had a guy that could spin it like that.
No, and
Penn State's a very desirable job, for a quarterback or an opportunity.
But Patrick, they've brought in these 5 stars, but they who was that guy, Mecklenburg or Hackenberg? They had that guy Hackenberg. I think that was under Franklin, and Aller they get these 5-star quarterbacks, but they seem to get the same guy, and Aller's the guy I'm about to describe. They get these clunky, robotic, kind of just non-fluid Midwest guys that just none of them seem to make good decisions or have a feel for the game. Patrick, Drew Aller doesn't.
Well, it is hard. I mean, I don't know where these kids are from, so I could be wrong on this, but I don't know how hard it's probably got to be hard to get, South kids in the South to come up there.
Yeah,
it's got to be tough, man.
Yeah, but
probably some really good prospects that they want, but they just can't get them.
They seem to get that same.
And then back to what you're saying is the style of play.
Yeah.
The style of play. There's no way you can be an elite program like that and never have an NFL draft pick at quarterback.
No.
Like a legit guy that's your first round, second round, even the second round, third round pick.
Yeah, it's tough. Well, going back to Penn State. They opened the game, and, I mean, the first half particularly, Penn State's running the ball. The offensive line is dominating Notre Dame. They're running it down their throat. They get up 10-0, and then they kind of get away from their game plan and start throwing the ball or trying to throw the ball. Here's a stat for you, Pat. I don't know if you heard. Last night, trying to win a Final Four game and move on to the national championship game, Penn State's offense did not complete a pass to a wide receiver all night. Their tight end caught a lot. They had some swing passes.
The whole game?
The entire game, one of their wide receivers never caught a pass. Never caught a pass. So why get away from the running game if you're yeah. How about that, Pat? Not all game.
Their only game plan was to throw it up to the fat version of Taysom Hill. That was about it.
Zach, let me go to you.
The tight end? The tight end?
Yeah, the giant Taysom Hill.
And he's good, man. And he's good.
Really
but I mean,
he's
even on a crazy good night, he's gonna give you 6 or 8 catches. He's not. I mean, and then they hit a couple swing passes. They passed to the running backs. They did not complete a pass to a wide receiver on the roster all game. Zach, what were your thoughts? Didn't you? If you watched the whole game as I did, I thought Penn State kind of, for at least 3/4 of the game, was the better team, was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to those the red zone turnovers. That's what really is killing them. Just throwing it up in the corner. Just not really good attempts at all. I mean, you just throw it away and take a field goal, and you probably win the game. That's basically what it comes down to me. And I mean, you got to, in 2025, you got to be able to throw the ball to your wide receivers at some point.
Nobody, Patrick. Not one wide receiver on Penn State's team caught a pass last night.
Bro, I can only imagine what those receivers are like going through their mind. Like, are we literally just out here?
Yeah,
just taking up space, because that's what I would feel like.
Man, it was a weird.
How is that even, bro?
Yeah, it was.
If I'm a recruit, why do I want to go to Penn State? If I'm a receiver, why would I want to go there?
You'd have to show me something in the future. I wouldn't go there now.
Why on earth?
Yeah,
you'd have to.
Patrick, going back though,
I don't even think an extra $100,000 would matter to a player. I'm just saying that, but
why?
I'd rather take $100,000 less, being at a system I know I'm going to get to play and perform and get the ball, than that, Brad. Gosh.
But why even get away from they didn't complete a pass to a wide receiver, but they got away from the running game and they were running the ball down their throat. It's the damnedest thing with those guys.
Yeah. And especially with what you just said, them having all 3 timeouts. So, okay, you get stuffed, call a quick one.
Yeah, let me.
If they stuff you after that big run, was it a play action? Because I can see that it's a really good setup for a play action.
I can't remember. Probably was. I can't remember if it was a play action. Let me try. I want to try and pull up something real quick. Hold on 1 second. See if I can find what the final numbers were. 1 second, Patrick, while I kind of snoop around here. I think I'm going down where I need to go here.
Oh, you're fine.
Here we go. Last night was what, the 9th? Here we go. All right, let me hit box score. Okay. Drew Aller was 12 of 23 for 135 yards, 1 interception. Rushing, they ran the ball 42 times for 204 yards. Why even throw 23 passes when you know you're not a great passing quarterback? And here, nobody caught a pass. Yeah. Here we go. Tyler Warren caught 6. He's their tight end. Nick Singleton's one of their 2 good running backs. He caught 2. Khalil Dinkins is a backup tight end. He caught 2. Luke Reynolds is a backup tight end. He caught 1. And Katron Allen, the other running back, caught 1. Those were your 12 catches, Patrick. Tight ends, running backs, and that was it. Nobody else caught a pass. And you're trying to knock off Notre Dame, and you're running the ball down their throat. It was crazy. It was really strange. And Penn State's done that before. The games I've watched them recently, they will inexplicably get away from what's working on offense, Patrick. And you're like, hey, man, if I'm dumping it down low to my big man and he's turning and shooting, I'm dumping it down low to my big man until they stop it, Oh, Patrick, it was a mess, man. It was a mess. But, hey, good for Notre Dame. They hung around. And Notre Dame, it does feel like, sometimes, Pat, you put on teams, sometimes your team just gets on a roll and it just feels special. You get the feeling Notre Dame's in that position right now. A lot of people, I wrote them off. I'm not even sure I think they should have gotten in the playoffs if you looked at their entire body of work. But, man, they're playing good football. They are playing good football. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. More to the Carson Beck story, a lot more to the Carson Beck story. Let's talk about that on the other side. I hope we can get Patrick back. I want to get his opinions. Beck has chosen a location, and there's some side stories where Carson Beck is taking his football career for at least one more year in college. A couple of neat side stories. Let's talk about that. We still have the Ohio State-Texas game to discuss today in the show, and a bunch of NFL playoff action. College basketball tomorrow. I also want to look at that as we go. Let's take a quick break. First segment is in the books on a Friday, live from BRIX, JAX Beach. Stay with us. Come back, talk some sports right here on Action Sports JAX.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX, JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX, JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX, JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports JAX 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News JAX app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports JAX 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device, you're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News JAX Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
All right, we're back here. Patrick Young, Terry Norvelle, and you. We're live, of course, at BRIX JAX Beach. Crowd rolling in, happy hour crowd. Tremendous menu. We talk about the steak all the time, but, man, they've got a very diverse menu. Seafood, of course, we're right there from the ocean. You got to have seafood down here at the beach. Burgers, just light fare if that's the direction you want to go. Full-service bar. And, of course, on Fridays, the $12.99 ribeye special, very famous. That includes 2 side items. Patrick, we will stay with we can get back to Notre Dame, Penn State. Unique game, kind of ugly game. Quarterbacks didn't play well. We'll get to Ohio State, Texas, which comes up tonight at 7:30. But the Carson Beck situation, he has landed now officially at Miami. That was where everybody thought he was going to go. It appears he's still dating a girl that either is still at Miami or this is her last year.
Oh, man.
So a couple of things. Let's read into this. Carson Beck, where he's at in his football career, I don't know if he talked to multiple schools. Miami was probably his first school, but I don't think
he did.
He must have got a guarantee. Hey, wherever I go, I've got to walk in and be the starting quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Word is he got a $4 million. That's the word. He got $4 million, but he's also got to have an assurance, right? Hey, hey, coach, if I come to your school, I'm not trying to beat anybody out. I've got to come in and start, right? The last thing would be
how dumb would it be to pay him all that and not assume he's
But
look, Terry, this is what happens to the NFL. You know, look at Kirk Cousins over at Atlanta.
Yeah.
They pushed him as long, or let him play as long as they could until they had to shut it down and switch over, and they're still on the hook to pay him all that money.
With all that said, obviously he's going to Miami now. He signed the deal, made a lot of money. It looks like he will. I'm sure that comes with the hey man, I'm the starting quarterback. Here's something for you. Miami opens up with Notre Dame.
Florida.
Nope.
Oh,
they're not playing the first game. They play Florida, but not first game. It's different this year. They play. So Carson Beck's first game as the quarterback. It's in Miami. He'll take on Notre Dame, possibly the national champions. That's his first game. He also, I think, game 3, Florida gets another crack at Carson Beck. Remember, he didn't play very well last year. Georgia won the game, but he threw 3 picks. And how about this? FSU gets a taste of him too. He will play at FSU. So we'll see a lot of Carson Beck around here.
It's so crazy. I think Carson was a Gator fan. I think he was growing up as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
and now he's going to. Now it's 2 rivals that he's going to.
How about that? He opens up.
Look, man. I'm really so happy that whoever's in his circle helped him make the right decision. The right thing was for him to get healthy, to try to have the year he wants. I think a big thing for Carson is that he wants to be a first-round draft pick, and he was so spread out on what he could have been. And he didn't have great tape, and now he gets to – I don't know if he's going to be the forward runner for Heisman, but he's going to be in that conversation to start the preseason. So gets healthy, gets to be, helps. And what a huge save there for Gosh, what's Miami's head coach name? I can't remember right now. Cristobal. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if they'd be able to, and I still don't, but I feel more positive that they'll be a good team again next year that he's there. I didn't think how do you replace Cam Ward, who's about to be the #1 draft pick?
Yeah, definitely. And just knowing Carson Beck as we do and having watched him play a lot of football, it'll be a different offense at Miami because Cam Ward, he gave you a lot of what I'll call bailout yardage. He bailed that offense out a lot with his legs and his athleticism.
Oh my gosh!
That's not Carson Beck's game. They're going to have to be much more traditional, and execute the play.
Like, Terry, do you think now the quarterback? I think the quarterback. Let's just think about this. We're take it back a second. Nowadays, the best quarterbacks that we're looking at in the NFL are guys, outside of Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow might run every now and then, but have the ability to extend plays, have the ability to run and get first downs, have that, and they do that because it's just another dynamic that the defense has to account for.
Yeah.
Your defense is completely different if you never think this guy's going to run.
I agree.
And I'm almost like, of course, Carson Beck's athlete enough to run and, I don't know, 40 yards a game. I'm not asking for him to be, is that too much?
Too much.
40 yards?
Yeah.
30
yards.
30 to 40?
I don't think that's his game. I think he twice a game may get a situation where he gets pressured right, and coincidentally all of his receivers are left, and one side of he gets 10 yards going that way. I don't think he's much of a runner at all. And I don't think he's the modern quarterback. I think he's blocky and clunky. I think he's the same guy as Drew Aller a little bit. And I don't disagree with you there. I put Ewers in that category too. Those three guys right there, having watched a bunch of those three guys, and those guys were on your Heisman list, by the way. They were a bunch of your Heisman guys. I also don't think those guys have a good feel for the game, and that's an intangible. And you just got to see it. You know what I mean? That Drew Aller last night, I've watched him so much. He just doesn't he's talented, but he doesn't have a feel for the game. The good ones have a feel for the game.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that you just develop or just have.
Have it or you don't.
Cam, you look at Cam Ward. Oh my gosh, does the guy have a feel for the game?
Oh my God!
I don't think you can coach Cam Ward has.
Got eyes in the head.
He's unbelievable.
And you know what? I'm not saying every quarterback has to have a feel where they know, okay, take off and run and go get 25 yards like Cam Ward. But even the ones that don't run like crazy, they have that innate feel for the game where they slide left or they slide right. You know what I mean? They know what they can feel and go, oh, I gotta run up in the pocket. I gotta go back in the pocket, left, right.
Oh yeah, I love guys that you see. I love when you see a quarterback see instantaneously, like 4 guys are rushing, and they went outside, and I got this huge gap opening, and I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, do you remember? Did Kendall fall asleep in the car a lot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a great time.
Kyla's she's with me.
It was a great time.
It's a great time. Yeah, she's knocked out right now. We just got to grandma's house. I'm gonna drop her off so she can, and then see if I can get a haircut because I look rough.
Yeah, look a little bushy.
You can be real. You can be real. I look a little rough.
Nah, you don't look too bad. Not too bad at all. Don't you wish you had somebody?
I know what you want to say.
No, it looks good. The key to looking sharp though is you almost have to get a haircut every 2 weeks, and who can do that? At
$40 a cut, man.
And but your line starts getting messed up after about a week. You know what I mean? But who can go get a haircut?
Your lines, your beard, yeah. I mean, I can clean up my neck and do the lines up here. That's pretty easy. But when it comes to anything else, like especially if you get a fade, you got those side skin. I got nothing for you there. I got nothing for you.
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. The ladies, and there are a lot of ladies that watch this show, a bunch of ladies, they're sitting here going, "Oh, listen to these two guys. They think they got it tough." Right? They're going, "Oh, these guys think they got it tough. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't have it tough." But no, that's like Patrick. There's times.
I'll be back. Right back.
Oh, there's times, Patrick, where I'll go get a haircut and I'll get a hard part cut in. But a lot of times I don't like to get the hard part because it grows out so quick. I'll just part it myself, you know?
I know.
Because it grows out.
Yeah, I did. Man, I like that part, man. I like the part. I love that look.
Have you ever tried to give
No.
And don't do it. Do not try to clean it up yourself. Don't try. You just can't do it, man. You hear me? Not that
I wonder, and now I wonder, because my hair is a little bit different than it used to be. I wonder if a part would look good in it or not. I don't know.
But
no.
Yeah,
Kyla says no.
If you cut a part, get a hard part, cut into it. It looks so sharp for about 3 or 4 days, and then it goes.
It looks great. Get in there.
But then it goes away.
Doing?
What's she doing?
Sorry, she's just sitting here. Grandma came out already. She came out of the house already for a second. She did.
She did?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Because you were knocked out.
Wake me up then.
You're right.
Friday,
You're
man.
Right.
Hey, tell her she's got the weekend, man. Don't give her a break, Pat. Give her a break. Weekend.
Right. She's got
got homework?
Never. No, do you have homework?
Yeah.
Weekend.
Yeah, she's got homework.
Man.
I'm not doing it today. Homework's not.
Do that. Just
Love
wait
you.
till
See you in a
about,
bit.
Hey, do it about Sunday about 8:00 at night. Remind everybody, I got homework, and everybody will love that, right? Do it about 8:00 at night on a Sunday. Oh yeah, I've got a project.
I did that to my parents once.
I remember that happened with Ken.
We had to, and it was a project that took some time too. So we had oh my gosh, poster board. And this and that and all this stuff. Oh my gosh, Terry, I would never make that mistake again.
They were mad at you, weren't they? Weren't they mad at you? Oh yeah, they were.
They were mad, and then also like, and as they should have, make me go do you got to do it all.
Yeah.
You're what do you need? What supplies do you need? And then get the supplies, and then all right, here you go, figure it out.
Oh, hey, let me tell you something.
You want to wait last minute?
Yeah. Hey, that sister yours.
Benita Young didn't play that, my guy.
Hey, Sarah didn't pull any of those shenanigans. She was a good student the whole time. I've talked to your parents. They said, yeah.
No, I don't think she did.
She was a straight shooter, and that Patrick gave him a lot of trouble. They told me, a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sarah didn't give him a lot of trouble. Sarah didn't. She was sometimes my sister highly, even as a young whippersnapper, highly opinionated on everything.
Really?
Highly.
But where she get
Oh
that
my
from?
gosh.
Where does she get that from? I wonder.
I know, right? Goodness, I have no idea.
Hey, and all in all, poor Robert, your dad, putting up with you three. Holy cow.
Poor Robert Young.
Man.
Poor Robert Young.
Putting up with you three. So, all right, Pat, you need to get inside, it looks like, right?
No, not yet. I still got you for a little bit. I'm letting them get some one-on-one time.
I tell you what, looks like you need to get in. Let's take this segment long, if you don't mind, and then we'll let you.
I don't mind that at all.
Because I want to talk. Let's talk some basketball. We can get back to college football. Zach and I can get back to it. All right, some basketball talk. I don't know if you've peeked at Florida's schedule, but they're at Arkansas tomorrow. Okay, 4:00. Florida's at Arkansas, coming off that huge win over Tennessee. And Patrick, after the Arkansas game, Florida's got a bit of a respite. They've got 4 games that are very winnable: Missouri, Texas, at South Carolina, and Georgia at home. Now, Patrick, stay with me.
Jay, don't sleep on Georgia. I'll just say don't sleep on them.
That's in Gainesville. I'm with you. But stay with me. This is why tomorrow's a big game. If Florida can go on the road and get a win at Arkansas, they'll be 2-1 with the next 4: Missouri, Texas, at South Carolina, and Georgia. Okay? None of those are ranked teams. All right? What happens, Patrick, over the next 2 weeks while Florida is playing those 4 unranked, all those ranked teams start knocking heads. You've got A&M taking on Kentucky, and you've got Bama, Kentucky, and you've got 2 Saturdays from now, Tennessee at Auburn. How about that? Tennessee at Auburn. So Florida's going to be playing unranked teams for a little bit of their schedule and let the other guys pick each other off. The Gators could make some ground up here now quickly if they can win. Tomorrow's a big game for Florida.
Yeah.
Big game.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't, I'm never one to, I don't like the saying, the Gators needed that loss against Kentucky, but I think it was a spark, a jolt for them.
Yeah.
Moving forward here, I think we're going to see a team that plays complete. Like, look, Walter Clayton didn't have a Walter Clayton-like game against Tennessee, and they still beat them by 30. Like, it's insane.
Man, that is crazy. Crazy.
He did not have a great game. I think he had 7 or 9 points, something like that.
Hey, don't look
he,
now.
He hit a 3. He hit a 3, so he still got his streak.
Yeah, he did.
Still got his streak.
Hey, don't look now, but normally, as you know, you played in this conference, when you're playing an opponent in the SEC twice, normally it's pretty spread out. You'll play them, and then you won't see them for several weeks, right? And then you'll play them again. How about this? Florida just played Tennessee. Florida will play Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, and then they get Tennessee and Knoxville. So they play Tennessee
again, huh?
On February 1st. They get them at February 1st
that's
in
right.
Knoxville.
On my birthday. That's on my birthday. That's crazy.
That's a noon game.
It's another big game going on that day.
Oh yeah.
That I'll actually be at.
JU.
The JU Dolphins will be taking on the UNF Ospreys
On
in
your birthday.
Swisher. On my birthday.
On your birthday.
Man, UNF, you're not looking so good for UNF right now. 0-3 in conference play.
And they went out and got they went out and got some big wins over some money games. They went out and got some wins, UNF.
Wins over the money games. And then, right now. Well, Austin P. Lipscomb's number 1 preseason, and Austin P was number 2. And I got to see both those teams in person. JU should have won against Lipscomb. I'm not even gonna. They were a solid team, but they should have won that game. And I think UNF had like a 16-point lead against Austin P and lost that. And the next night, Lipscomb beat the brakes off of them, and they just lost to somebody else. But Queens is Georgia school, I believe. They're 3-0 in the ASUN. Man, I'm invested. I'm invested, man. Like I want to see JU win the league. I do.
Look at you. Hey, did you say JU won last night, right? Dolphins went up and got a win.
Yeah, they won.
They got a little 2-game
Who
swing.
was it against?
Bellarmine,
I can't remember. Bellarmine.
Yeah, Bellarmine. Hey, Pat, when I worked at JU, did the radio for 3 years, I used to love, you mentioned Lipscomb. I used to love the trip up to back when I was calling the games.
Is that Nashville?
Belmont.
Or Knoxville?
It's Nashville. Belmont was in the conference. Belmont was in the conference, and Belmont and Lipscomb are both in Nashville. So you'd go up there for 4 days, 5 days.
Wow.
And I loved it because, I love Nashville. Love it. And Belmont, Belmont was really good.
Nashville is crazy, man. I don't know if I can say I love Nashville.
I do, man. It's a great city. Let's go, man.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Like there's touristy cities, and then there's Nashville. Like, goodness gracious.
Let's get on a plane and go, man. I like Nashville. We'll go up there and watch. Hey, I've never been, even though I was right near it and I should have walked into it. When we stayed up in Nashville, when JU would play up there, we stayed in a hotel that was so close to Vanderbilt, I could look out my window and see into the football stadium. And I always wanted to walk over and find the basketball because it's such a crazy basketball gym, but I never did. Is it crazy as it looks on TV, the Vanderbilt gym?
It's weird. It's definitely weird when you're in there. It's different. But I guess you get used to it.
Tell people why it's weird. The couple things.
It's the elevated court.
Yeah.
So it's weird, and the base and the
benches.
The player benches are behind the basket instead of on the sideline like they normally are.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
So it's it is. Nuts.
I heard another thing, Patrick, and again, I've never been there. A couple things. Memorial Gym where Vanderbilt plays, very unique. It was an old theater way back. It was a theater. That's why
really?
And it got converted into Vanderbilt's basketball arena. Number one. Number two, I've heard that because it's got walls that jut out because it was a theater at one point. They have to have in that arena. They have 9 scoreboards throughout the arena for everybody to be able to see a scoreboard because it's not a round, right? It's not just a round thing. It's got walls that jut and stuff.
I didn't notice that before. I have not noticed that before.
But let me reiterate what you're saying. People may go, "What are you talking about, Patrick? An elevated court." If you're sitting front row, courtside, the court's about at your chest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the court is up, and then they've got like some space on one of the sidelines where the cheerleaders are sitting on the sidelines, right? There's a lot of space.
Yeah, they do. I forgot about that dynamic too. It's all interesting, and the student section's on the sideline. It's not behind the basket or anything like that. They're sideline.
And people that haven't seen it on TV don't know what you're talking about.
I think we've only lost there once.
Is that right?
Only lost there once. Yeah, they had a good team. They had a really good team.
I just brought up the word cheerleader, and that got me thinking because I think a lot when I think about cheerleaders, okay? And you got to be honest, Patrick. You got to be honest, okay? You played a lot of college basketball. College basketball, they all have cheerleaders. A basketball court's not real big, right? I mean, everybody's pretty tight if you're on the court.
Right.
How many times when you played at the University of Florida, and you're not incriminating yourself because you weren't married when you were at Florida, right? You were a college guy.
Correct.
How many times did you play road games at Florida? And, the proximity, at times you're pretty close to the other team's cheerleaders. How many times did you go, my God, that girl's beautiful?
Probably every game.
Get your mind in the game, Patrick. Patrick, get your mind in the game.
How would you not? I don't understand, Terry. What you're?
Did you ever like dead ball? Maybe you're inbounding and you saw just a beautiful girl at a cheerleader at Ole Miss going, "Hey, what's your name? Can I get your number? Can I get your number?" You ever ask for a number in the game?
No, absolutely not.
You look like you're disgusted at this line of questioning, Patrick.
Well, the first line, you made it seem like it's like so. I mean, I got eyeballs like everybody else, and like,
but I mean,
the cheerleaders go to mid-court, and
how about this?
I do it now as an analyst at games. I'm like, oh, she's very pretty.
Get your mind.
That's just where my mind goes.
Get your mind in the game.
It's timeout. It's a timeout, and they're dancing right in front of us. What do you want me to do?
How about this? You, somebody just called timeout. You and Wilbekin and Prather and some of the other guys, y'all are walking from the court to the bench. Did you ever walk next to Wilbekin and go, "Good Lord, did you see that blonde cheerleader for Ole Miss over there?" Be honest,
no.
Patrick. Be honest, Patrick.
No.
Hey, God and Santa.
In the NBA.
Okay.
That happens. That happens every game. I think I'm not going to say every player does that, but there's been guys caught like looking at, girls that are court side or something like that.
Yeah, but hey, I'd rather be talking to the college girl than the NBA dancers because those are once they become NBA dancer girls, they're kind of hooch, aren't they? They're kind of hoochies. NBA?
No,
I think so. Give me one of those cute Ole Miss cheerleaders over those hoochie NBA. They're hooches at the NBA. No,
I don't understand
because they're dancers.
I don't understand.
Zach, you know what I'm talking. Zach, you're a happily married man. You know what I'm talking about. You want to stay away from the hoochie girls if you're single. You'd rather have a good, wholesome cheerleader girl instead of those.
Why are you putting Patrick in these predicaments where he's got to answer these questions like this?
Thank you, Zach.
There's no winning.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach.
Well,
there's no winning in this.
Zach, wouldn't you rather get a little?
You're putting me in an who said this? Untenable. This is an untenable situation.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather get a little rap going with a good college clean girl than one of those NBA hoochie? They're hooch dancers in the NBA, aren't they?
You're talking about the promiscuous women who sit courtside and have their cleavage out in an attempt to catch the eye of an NBA player so they can potentially entrap them into becoming a baby mama.
He's talking about dancers. He's talking about the NBA dancers.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, they don't have
I agree with you. That's definition of hooch if you want to have the word, what you just said.
No, the dancers are just dancing.
That's a different thing.
They're just doing
Thank
their
you,
job.
Zach.
The dancers are just dancing. Now there are
They have like rules, Sarah.
everywhere.
They have rules. They're not supposed to talk to the NBA players.
Yeah, because you know what? I did a little research before I brought this topic up, and you're right, guys. I looked it up. Never in the history of the world has an NBA player had a relationship on the sly with one of the dancing hooch girls. And never has happened.
What was the source for this?
Why Ayana?
I'm pretty sure that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 on and off the court with the dancers.
He scored 100 and 1,000. Right? Is that his number?
Yeah, actually, I think it is
1,000 women is what he said.
He got about the 4 digits.
Who was that?
Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt Chamberlain.
No. Let me correct you, boys. And look it up, Zach. If you want to look it up and then cooperate, his number was 20,000. Look it up right now. Look it up. In his book, he said he slept with 20,000 women. Look it up. Somebody look it up. Look it up. Look it up. Can you look it up, Zach? Wilt Chamberlain's.
I mean, according to AI Overview, as of March 4, 2024, it says he slept with 20,000 different women in his career.
Now, that's a Hall of Famer right there.
It doesn't say in his career, but I guess I had to. It is a career thing. You know?
In his sleeping with women career.
How old is he now?
He's dead. But what
he
a way
died?
to go.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Wilt gone. Wilt gone. He gone. He gone, Patrick.
Wow, man.
Patrick,
wow.
But what a way to go, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Right.
That's a lot.
That's a Hall of Famer.
That's a lot.
That's a Hall of Famer is what that is, right? Hey, can you imagine when he was whatever class he was in, and there's a Hall of Fame committee, so they're okay. We got 3 people we're considering for the Hall of Fame. Okay, we just talked about Joe Smith and Billy Johnson. All right, next up, guys, what do you guys think about the Hall of Fame for Wilt? Yeah, he's in. They don't even get his whole name out.
The 20,000. As I was keeping Fred Taylor out of the Hall of Fame, he doesn't have the 20,000 off the field.
Well,
so if he had that, he would be in, according to this logic.
Let me ask you this. Wilt had great NBA numbers. Does he get to count those 20,000 as an assist? Are those 20,000 more assists he has?
I think it's a whole separate stat, and it gets like
slam
quadruple
dunk?
doubles. Yeah, it's a whole separate stat.
A slam dunk? Patrick, you went quiet, Patrick.
I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say.
I'll tell you what to say, Patrick. I want you to say what you would be saying if we weren't on the air right now. You'd be yak. You'd be chatty Cathy right now on this topic, wouldn't you?
No, I would not.
Yes, you would be chatty Cathy.
20,000. That is. 100 is too many. So 20,000 is insane. I thought it was 100 or 1,000.
That's an absurd number. I don't know. How do you even have that much time? Like having different days.
I mean, have you even?
He must, and I hate, and this sounds so wrong. He must have had multiple times where he had sex with multiple women in the same day.
Patrick, I would imagine.
He must have.
Patrick.
Yeah.
20,000.
Yeah, I mean, just mathematically, that probably would have had to have been the case. Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is we've already went here. Did he not hear of masturbation? I'm sorry. Like I just had to say that. Goodness gracious, bro. Like that bad.
A good run, folks. The Young and Norvelle show was a good run we had. I hope you've enjoyed the last 2 years.
I apologize. I apologize.
That'll do it.
I apologize. I'm just
thank the good folks at CBS 47, Fox 30, Brent Martin.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm just sorry. I'm just kind of like it's kind of disgusting. It's really disgusting.
And whoever had that on their bingo card on January 10th, 2025, Patrick will end the show.
I did actually. I did have that on my card.
No, but hey, that's not a dirty word. I mean, that's not a dirty word, right? Okay, all right. Hey, I was going to say, guys, I'm not even sure I've talked to 20,000 women in my life.
There's no way I have. There's no way.
No, I haven't. I don't think I've met that many just individual people, just in general.
I don't know if I've met that many people in my life, in my 32 years. I'm sure there's. I don't know if you count. Are we counting like every interaction?
20,000. Good Lord.
This is insane. This is such an insane conversation. But I'm all for it because now I'm like,
Zach, get back here. Zach,
I'm all about it because I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm mentally I'm trying to understand it.
Hold on, we're about to wrap up hour number 1, but Zach, stay here, Patrick, stay here. Listen, guys, I think it's appropriate as we're at the end of hour 1. We'll go ahead and take a break here. Let's take a quick moment of silence in honor of the great Wilt Chamberlain, folks. All right, way to go, Wilt. All right, Wilt. Wilt Chamberlain. Hey,
I think my man he needs 20,000 seconds. 20,000 seconds is more what I think he deserves.
They don't call him the GOAT for nothing, my man. Right. Hey, and let me tell you something. He was a scorer. He was a prodigious scorer.
All right.
100 points in a game.
Yeah,
he had 100 points in a game.
He did multiple 20 rebound games.
What was the scorecard after the game, you think? It was celebration. Patrick, what are you doing? Look, you got a headache, Pat. You got a headache? Hey, are the Gators
yes.
We'll let you go, Pat. Are the Gators going to win tomorrow at Arkansas? Tough place.
Yeah, they should. You know, if you see how Arkansas has been playing, and Coach Cal has never started 0-2 or 0-3 in conference play. So, you know, expect them to play better, but I don't think they're any match. Like they just play, you know, I don't think they know how to win, like what it takes to win Arkansas's team. So
Arkansas.
And Coach Cal said that. Coach Cal said that. He said he doesn't think my guys really know how to win. And that's something I got to coach them on. And
I've never thought Coach Cal's that good of a basketball coach, in-game tactician. I think he's an assembler of talent, but I've never thought he's a great coach. You know, Bruce Pearl can win a game from the sideline. Rick Barnes can win a game. Todd Golden's starting to look like he can win a game from the sideline. Coach K, of course, and Patino, they can win. Billy Dodd, guys like that. I've never thought Coach Cal is a guy that if two teams are equally matched, he's going to draw up some stuff that's going to help us win this game. What are your thoughts on Cal as a coach over the years?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, he's got great talent. Well, I'll tell you this. When Kentucky played Florida, it was just so refreshing to see how the style of play is so different than what it had been.
No doubt.
And just made me think, like, Cal never had offenses that were so organized in this way because he just had so much talent. I mean, guys that could just really shoot the ball. You know, shooting sometimes that's been a struggle for him with especially three-point shooting. But, you know, just had great athletes that can jump, can protect the rim, a guard that can score from anywhere, you know. And it worked out, not in terms of, like, great NCAA runs outside of the championship, but in terms of dominating the SEC. They definitely did that for a while.
A long time. Hey, I'm going to take you in the Wayback Machine.
He dominated the SEC. Goodness.
You just mentioned how Kentucky, obviously, they are one of the bluest of blue bloods in basketball, and for years they've just ran athletes at you, long athletes, hot McDonald's All-Americans by the boatload. Patrick, this story real quick. I was just getting in the business, broadcasting. This was 96, 7, somewhere in there. So one of the first times I went to the O'Connell Center it was a weeknight game. It was a Tuesday, Wednesday game. Florida's playing Kentucky, and Florida was okay. I guess Lon Kruger might have been, you know, they weren't quite – they were pretty good. They were trying to get good in basketball at the time. And so Big Bad Kentucky, ranked very high, was rolling into Gainesville. So I went. I was just getting – so it was like my first game sitting courtside as a media member. And they used to now they put us up high. But in Gainesville, they used to, you know, media row. You were right next to the court.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know where.
Yeah. So I'm in Gainesville. Like I said, I'm just getting in the business. So I'm covering the game. Next day, going to have it, you know, as a big topic on radio. And they're playing Kentucky. And one of Kentucky's best players was Roderick Rhodes, to give people an idea. And I can't remember some of the other guys, but he was a good college player, high recruit. But Patrick, I was sitting there watching Florida play that Kentucky team, and they were ranked in the top 5. And the Kentucky team, in waves, they just ran 6'8", 6'7", long arm, jumping. You were like, God, they just never stopped. Their whole team was long and fast and could jump and could run. Oh, it was something. That old Kentucky player that they used to get just like they stamped them out. Well, and they could hand pick them around the country too, you know. They were Kentucky.
Right. Sure could.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They sure could, man.
And they were something.
They were something.
Yeah. All right, Patrick, do you want to any parting shots? You want to say any more tribute to Wilt Chamberlain at all? Or are we good? We're going to let you go.
Not at all. We got it. I think we're beating a dead horse at this point.
All right, buddy. I hope you can deliver a win. I know you're going to be watching that game hard as we will tomorrow at 4:00. I know it's right around the NFL playoff game, but Florida, Arkansas, 4:00. And by the way, Patrick, the second game, it's a doubleheader. Alabama at Texas A&M. Top 10.
Yeah.
How about that? That's a good one. All right, Patrick Young.
Hopefully, if Wade Taylor's back, then I got to think they might have a chance to win it. That without Wade, I don't think they're good enough to beat Alabama.
The other day, I guess it was the second game after Florida, Tennessee. I think it was. Alabama was playing Oklahoma at home. And Patrick, I watched the first 5 minutes, got up to let the dog out or something, came back, and Alabama had just ran away from Oklahoma. Man, Alabama's good too, man. They're good.
That's the danger. They always pose that threat. They can always beat that team.
That little Mark Sears is tough, man, isn't he? He's tough. That left-hander.
Yeah.
He is tough. All right, Patrick, be careful all weekend. Have a good weekend. Enjoy all the football, all the basketball, and we'll have a lot to talk about on Monday. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, buddy. That's our main man, Patric Young, from the Young and Norvelle Show. We'll let him get about his business. We'll take a top-of-the-hour break, come back here live at BRIX, JAX Beach. Zach and I will look at a lot of stuff. We'll get deep into Ohio State, Texas. We've just barely touched on that. What's going to happen tonight? They kick that thing off about 7:45, and then playoffs galore. Also, a disturbing story. It's tough. It involves an LSU wide receiver who is declared for the draft. He's in some hot water. We'll try to get to that. Sports history maybe a little bit later. A lot left on the plate for the second hour of the Young and Norvelle Show. Coming back from BRIX right here on Action Sports Jax.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX, JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX, JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX, JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. we have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports JAX 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Our favorite sports analyst, college sports analyst, Brent Beard, will join us here coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Look forward to Brent giving us his thoughts on last night's Penn State Notre Dame ball game, of which we broke down pretty well. Good game, competitive game, kept you in front of your TV. Not the prettiest game that I've ever watched. And I think a big part of that we've discussed on the show. Really poor quarterback play, both sides. Throughout, especially. We'll talk to Brent about that game. We'll preview Ohio State, Texas with Brent, some other basketball topics, and cruise through here the second hour. With that, though, I've got to get to a disturbing story. And, Zach, this is one of those just, wow, you hate to see anything happen to anybody, particularly innocent people, and then young people making probably bad decisions. LSU has a wide receiver, Kyron Lacey. He's their star from this past season. LSU just stamps out wide receivers, as you know. He had this year 58 catches, 866 yards, 9 touchdowns. Big-time LSU receiver. They just stamp him out. He's already declared for the NFL to leave LSU. He is in some serious trouble, it appears. Louisiana State police have issued an arrest warrant for former LSU receiver Kyron Lacey, who was accused of causing a crash. So he wasn't in it per se and didn't get hurt or have property damage, but he caused it, allegedly, a crash that killed a 78-year-old man back on December 16th, then fleeing the scene without rendering aid or calling authorities. And it goes on to talk about Louisiana State Police this Friday. Today, they will charge him with negligent homicide, felony hit and run, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Very, very serious. And obviously, a 78-year-old person has lost their life. Police say now that they have been in contact with Lacey and his attorney to turn himself in because, as we'll read a little bit later in this, after the accident happened, let me go on. According to police, according to a news release from state police, Lacey was allegedly driving a 2023 Dodge Charger on a Louisiana highway and recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering the Norvelle lane while in a designated no-pass zone. It just gets worse and worse if this is all true. Wow, as Lacey was illegally passing the other vehicles, the driver of a northbound pickup truck abruptly braked and swerved to the right to avoid a head-on collision with the approaching Dodge, of which Lacey was driving. And this was in the report, traveling behind the pickup, and it goes on to say there was a massive crash between 2 other cars, but Lacey is allegedly the cause of the accident. Police then say in their report, police allege that Lacey, 24, and Zach, this is tough here now. It says Lacey drove around the crash scene and then fled without stopping to render aid, call emergency services, or report his involvement in the crash. Man, this is a tough situation. And again, a 78-year-old man has lost his life, but my goodness gracious, if even a portion of that is true, that's tough. That is really, really tough. And leaving the scene and driving around it. So if it's true that he circled the scene, again, he was he is being alleged to have caused the accident where two other cars collided and there was a fatality. But Lacey's car wasn't in it, but he caused it, according, and then supposedly circled around and still fled the scene. So if this goes far and there's a defense where you say, well, he didn't see it, or it was behind him, or didn't know. Well, if you circled the scene after the fact, real life stuff sometimes comes in. Man, that's tough. And condolences to the 78-year-old man who lost his life in that. So you got to believe that a lot will come out of this in the future. Just wanted to get that out. That's made some top of the news stories today. Brent Beard will join us in a little bit. We'll try to get some sports history as well. Really looking forward to Brent's comments about the game. We were texting a little bit last night, and then tonight's game, Ohio State, Texas. Kind of peeking a little bit at Ohio State, Texas. I think first and foremost, my goodness gracious, Texas has got to weather the storm. If Texas, if I'm Sarkisian, goal number one is getting out of the first quarter still in a competitive game. That blitzkrieg that Ohio State threw at Oregon the other day, that game was over about 5 minutes into the ball game. So goal number one, if you're Texas, is composure and make it out of the first quarter. You don't want to go down 14-0, 17-0, 21-0 right out of the gate. You don't want to go down anyway, obviously. But my goodness, I think Texas might have a little bit of a better chance of running with Ohio State. They seem to match up a little better than Oregon. Texas, and we've seen them play a lot now that they're in the SEC. Texas does have some secondary players, some long-armed, tall secondary players. I think that's what you need against Ohio State. At times, I thought Oregon, some of the defenders on pass plays for Ohio State, I thought the Oregon guys were in the vicinity, but my God, don't forget, Jeremiah Smith is about 6'4". Ohio State will run a bunch of tall receivers. So if you're trying to cover those guys with 5'10" cornerbacks, that's tough. Texas really needs to run the ball, and I've got to believe tonight for Texas to hang around and maybe pull the upset, Quinn Ewers is going to play out of his mind. I'm not a big Quinn Ewers guy. I don't think he's in his career totally lived up to his press clippings. At times, I think he's very, very average. And I think we do have Brent Beard, as we'll welcome Brent in. Brent, I don't know if you heard my setup a moment ago, but we had to. It's making the news. Boy, terrible situation with LSU receiver who was thrown in his name in the draft, Kyron Lacey.
Yeah.
It appears he was in a. He's being alleged to have caused a car accident by terrible driving. There's a felony. There's a death involved. He supposedly circled around and left, and you'll read it. But yeah, just a tough situation. A young kid looks like he did some stupid things, and a lot of people suffered. Anyway, we'll pass that. I just didn't know if you had heard about it.
Yeah, I did. I did. It's awful.
Tough situation.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and that will look. I know he was probably looking forward to what he thought was a great future, but
yeah,
that future may be derailed now by 20 or 30 years, depending on.
It's terrible, and I mean, there's a loss of life, number one. But
yes.
My gosh, if it's true, he was racing his 2023 or driving at a reckless high rate of speed. He wasn't in the accident, but he caused it. If it's true, and then circled around the scene and still left. So you got fleeing, you got a lot of stuff. He's going to be charged with possible. Anyway, let's move on to other things. Brent, you watched the game last night.
Yes.
Did I watch it right? As I'm watching that game last night, I thought Penn State was almost the dominant team for 3/4 of the game, and then here comes Notre Dame.
Yeah, the game was played in a phone booth in the first half.
Really was.
It was really, really excellent defense in a lot of ways. In the second half, and they were able to kind of get out of the box.
Yeah.
Terry, hell, if you're Penn State, how do you not complete one single pass to your wide receivers?
And you don't deserve to win in modern football, I think, unless you're running a wishbone or your offense is designed. And I don't even know, including Army and Navy, I don't even know if there's anybody out there that really wants to run the ball 62 times anymore.
No,
right?
No.
But you've got to hit a wide receiver at some point. But the spinoff of that, Brent, is you weren't throwing the ball. You didn't have much of a passing attack. They were running it down Notre Dame's throat, and then inexplicably, Penn State does this every time I watch them. They get away from what was – they ran for 204. Brent, they should have stayed with it and ran for 300, and they would have won the game.
If you look, truthfully, if you and I took the stats of games for the last 20 years, I would say the teams that have run for over 200 yards win 85 to 90% of them.
Hard to lose.
It's almost impossible to lose because you're controlling the clock.
But didn't you think they got away from the run inexplicably several times in the game? Brent, if they kept running the ball, I think they would have had 300 yards on the ground, and you can't lose with 300 yards, can you?
Coaches, coaches get away from what they are used to doing. It's just, I want you and I to have a coach come in one day and we need to ask him, Coach, why do your brother and sister get away from what's working and go to something that's not, and take your team out of a routine, out of the momentum that you've got? It's just inexplicable.
It really is. It really, really is. And, I would also, if you had true carte blanche to ask these guys and they had to answer honestly, Coach, you're the head coach. You were running it at 200 yards.
Yeah.
If you kept running it, I don't think they were going to stop you. You were going to have 300 yards. If you heard on the headset your OC sending in a pass play, why wouldn't you say, whoa, let's don't pass? I mean, here and there, maybe one here and there, but hey, let's wait until they stop us because they haven't stopped us. Why send in a pass?
If you're running for 200 yards, what that means is you're running for anywhere from 4.5 yards a carry to 5 yards a carry,
sure.
which means every 2 carries you get a first down.
Yeah. Right on the first down, yeah.
And while you get away from that, there were 2 things that happened that were also inexplicable. The interception in the end zone should have never been called pass interference. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the double coverage or
yes.
the other one. There was 2 of them in the end zone.
They were just going for the ball. But the really inexplicable thing is how in the world does Lar come out there in his own territory? And didn't he say he was just trying to throw it away or throw it on the ground?
He said he was trying to ground the ball, which made no sense at all. Because if you're trying to throw it, and if you go back and look at the play, it wasn't like there was traffic in front of the receiver he was throwing it toward.
Yeah.
He could have thrown it short by 10 yards. It wouldn't have been grounding. It's going towards. It was just a terrible decision by a guy that every time I watch Aller over the last couple of years, I see the same thing. He has no feel for the game.
Yeah.
None.
Right.
He's robotic. He's blocky. I use that word a lot now. Blocky, robotic, just mechanical looking. And I don't think he's got a feel for the game either.
Yeah, no. I would agree with that. Now, I'm going to bring something up that some of our folks won't understand, but you will. Zach might too. But over the next until January the 20th, which is also a significant day for another reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But on January the 20th, people are going to they're going to be sick of the media's love affair with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Listen now. Number one, Notre Dame had been in a championship game since Alabama in 2013,
right?
And they were absolutely disassembled in that game.
Yeah.
Number two, they haven't won anything. which is amazing. Haven't won anything since '89, and when Holtz was there.
Yeah.
But Terry, tell me if I'm off base. Tell me. But what the younger fan doesn't understand is the middle to older media have long had a love affair with Notre Dame, and that has been dormant for years. Do you see that coming back like I do?
I absolutely do. And I want to tip my hat to, I don't know who said it last night. Was it McElroy or I'm drawing the play-by-play guy.
Sean McDonough.
Might have been, it was one of those last night as the game was toward the end. And I want to spin off to this topic. He said, Marcus Freeman is making a lot of people start liking Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And Pat and I were talking about Freeman first hour when we were breaking this game down. Same with Zach. He chimed in as well. I think right now, Marcus Freeman is a huge winner of this playoff.
Yeah.
He has come off, and he's got, obviously Notre Dame's been in big games. Now they're going deep into the playoff. Marcus Freeman, he looks composed. He looks in charge. He looks buttoned down, businesslike. Looks, I'm not going to say he's not a hands-on coach because I don't see his practices, and I'm sure he is. He looks engaged during the game, but he also looks CEO-esque as well.
Yeah.
I'm making a long description of saying, I told Pat, I could see the NFL boys looking at him and going, wow. And 3-4 years from now, if he stays successful, because he's not college rah-rah.
Yeah.
And, and I use Kirby as the example. Kirby's put up incredible numbers. The NFL doesn't look at a Kirby type. He's a college coach.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman, I think, could coach both. I think he's a guy 4 or 5 years from now the NFL will take a run at because he's got that professional, I can handle a locker room of men. Again, button down, business like. He's had a big win himself. His own brand has had a big win, and I think that's going to play into what you said. There are going to be a million stories about the team and Marcus Freeman.
Freeman has the ability to allow his assistant coaches to basically do what they need to do. Yeah. And I still say one of the architects of this team is Al Golden, the former Miami coach, who is the D coordinator.
Done a super job with that defense, hasn't he?
Yeah, he really has. Now, let me tell you something that you would appreciate. I get a text this morning from my happily married daughter with grandchild. She says, Dad, that Marcus Freeman is hot. So you know, I have a 20-something like you do, and they never fail to amaze me.
I'm absolutely dead true about what you just said. I've been out and about the last couple of years, and if Notre Dame comes up, I've had in conversation a couple of girlfriends of mine go, damn, that Notre Dame coach is cute. And Patric pointed that out. He's nice looking. He's in shape, and I think all that plays into his brand. Mark my words, Notre Dame's going to have to fight for him in 3 or 4 years. The NFL, the NFL more than a Kirby Smart, who has a better resume in college. Mm-hmm. If you looked at a Kirby and a Marcus Freeman, Freeman is much more like a Nick Saban than Kirby. And I know he was under him, but, Kirby's rah-rah. Rah-rah doesn't play in the NFL. It can still, Harry High School rah-rah, win one for the Gipper, can still play in college ball, even though there's money involved. And it may go away. Would you agree with that? The win one for the Gipper still, that doesn't play in the NFL.
No. That's the reason people love college football more than the NFL is because you've actually got some emotions and feelings involved. In the NFL, it's just a business. If they win, they win. If they lose, well, we'll go next year on it. But no, there's no doubt about that. I mean, Freeman is in being able to and look, have you heard this diatribe today like I have. There's been more criticism about Brian Kelly and Kelly, you know, I mean, what's Kelly done to upset everybody? But it's just one of those things to where as Chino comes and goes.
Yeah, I see that. Cat does what he wants. I tell you.
Yes. He's like daughters. They do the same thing. But
Kelly's got his name thrown out there for. I bet Brian Kelly's going, "What did I do?"
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's more like what you didn't do, Brian.
Yeah, and he also it is also a little bit of what he said when he was leaving Notre Dame. He implied, well, you know, I'm going to a place that, you know, they give you everything you might need to win a national title.
Right,
and all of a sudden, here's Notre Dame, a game from a national title, and LSU didn't make the playoffs. But, yeah, Brian Kelly got kind of left field thrown into that, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you what, though, Terry, the reality is you can make the argument that some of this has been gift wrap for Notre Dame. I mean, obviously, they don't play in the conference, so you don't have a conference title that you've got to try to win. And then you start with Indiana. You've got a Georgia team that is the worst Georgia team that we've seen in years.
And missing their quarterback.
Absolutely. So, but again, I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They've won and they've taken advantage of it. But Terry, this, you know, I love this playoff, but you and I have seen this coming. The hot team that has the best draw is going a long way in this thing and is going, you know, and that coach is going to be a hero, whoever it is.
Yeah. And it's got a little feel, and it's supposed to, I guess. Same with the NFL. Sometimes the wildcard team gets hot. You know, sometimes a team that sneaks in. Ask Tom Coughlin. He had two teams snuck in the tournament.
Yeah,
that weren't the best team in the NFL, but they won it. But yeah, it looks a little bit like March Madness. Hey, I keep saying it with football, the tournament now in college football, you can't win it unless you're in it. You got to get in it. Who knows?
I agree.
The draw can help you. Somebody can knock off the heavyweight and do your heavy lifting for you. Brent, let's take this segment a little bit longer, and then on the other side, we've got to get into some Ohio State Texas. What do you think is going to happen tonight? Carson Beck, the destination is now official. He is going to Miami, which tells you word is he got a nice package, a financial package. And Brent, obviously, if you're Carson Beck, you do your homework when you're talking about going to schools. Obviously, Carson Beck said, hey, if I come to Miami, I've got to be your starter. Right? So he's going to be the starter. Have you looked at Miami's schedule? Carson Beck's opening game as the starter for the Miami Hurricanes will be at home in Miami against Notre Dame.
That's right. Yeah.
Notre Dame. Later, about 2 weeks later, at home, Florida gets a crack at him.
Yep.
And Florida feels like they should have beat him here in Jacksonville. He threw 3 picks.
He sure did.
And then how about this? Out of left field, if you had told me, if we had talked to an FSU fan 2 months ago and said, hey, you're going to get a shot at Carson Beck, they'd have said, what are you talking about? We don't have Georgia on the schedule. Carson Beck will go to Tallahassee next year as well.
Well, I can tell you this. The FSU fans would rather have him than who they've got now.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Listen, something soured here in that relationship for both of them. I'm not saying they were yelling and screaming at each other, but Beck, because he was hurt, I mean, this is out there. People can see it. Did not show up at any practices, bowl events, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily helped him.
No.
I mean, I've seen where it was $4 million, but see, here's where I mean, I know they're bringing some people in, but Terry, that they're losing Cam Ward, they're losing Xavier Restapro, who set records there. The Horton kid at wide receivers going to Alabama, the Martinez kid,
running back.
The running back he's going to the NFL. The Rivers kid from Oakleaf on the offensive line, he's going to the NFL. I mean, and the Horton kid at wide receivers going to Alabama.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying they're devoid of talent, but before people anoint them as as a top 5 team, they need to realize what they're losing and what Beck's getting into.
And I'm not saying Beck can't do it in different ways, but he will not. Cam Ward had so much bailout yardage.
Yes.
He bailed them out with his raw athletic in his feet. Beck's not that guy. I don't know if Miami fan has seen him play much, but they're going to be a different looking offense.
They are.
Definitely. And it's interesting the way it's working out that he's coming back. He'll play Notre Dame in the opener, Florida a couple games into the season, and then Florida State in addition to the entire Miami schedule. Brent, hang tight. One more quick segment. We'll dive into Ohio State, Texas, about 7:45 kickoff, the second semifinal game. Looking forward to this one. Can Texas hang around? I think they're being if you're Sarkisian, you are playing that we have no chance. The world thinks we don't even need to show up card.
Right.
And Texas is awful good to have that ammunition. We'll talk that ball game on the other side. We're cruising through the second hour of the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jax.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month. and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bolt City Heating and Air at BoltCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
All right, let's shift our attention a little bit to the big game tonight. Semifinal game number 2. Ohio State is taking on, of course, Texas. The Longhorns. Brent, let's start with them as things that you may see. My first thing is, man, coming off the Ohio State-Oregon game, that blitzkrieg that Ohio State threw, I think goal number 1 for Texas is weather the first quarter. I mean, just get through the first quarter. Oregon never even got to really throw punches because, Ohio State was a young Mike Tyson off the stool, and about the second punch floored them, right? And they were staggered the rest of the game.
Well,
weather the first quarter. What do you think?
What Ohio State figured out after the Michigan game, what they wanted to do is show that they're tough and beat Michigan at their own game. And they virtually ignored their wide receivers. And what they've done now is they've opened up their offense. You can't ignore Jeremiah Smith, can you, Terry?
No. One of the greats to come through. One of those great freshmen, true freshmen that you've seen at Alabama at the wide receiver position, and Ohio State's turned them out. Georgia's had a few, guys, but he is really, really something. Quinn Ewers tonight would have to play out of his mind, wouldn't he? He's got to turn in a out of his mind game, right?
I mean, look, in the last game, he actually did at the end of the game.
At the end of the game, yes.
He made 2 or 3 passes at the end of the game that only guys in the NFL can make.
Yeah, because he had up to that point a very average game against Arizona State. He was not good. He was not terrible. He just wasn't good. But you're right. What was that documentation we had on the show? He had something I've never seen. He had 3 consecutive passes in that game that were scoring passes. You don't see them very often. Touchdown, touchdown in overtime, and a 2-point conversion in overtime when you were forced to go for 6.
Yeah, well, and look, the other thing for them is Quinn Wisner's a good running back. That they've got to be able to run the ball.
Yes,
some. I think that's going to be important. Now Texas is a lot better defensively. They're given credit for.
I agree with that. Texas
Colin Simmons, their defensive end, is a monster to block.
Star. He's a star in the making, isn't he?
He really is. They're 3rd in the nation in total defense, which is also interesting. The thing I just saw, and I'm gonna read this.
Okay.
Is they have they're going to change kickers. Texas is, instead of Bert Auburn, they're going to Will Stone. That's going to handle the place kicking duties.
That's ballsy, man.
It is, isn't it? But the reality is, Terry, look, now I don't think it will, because I don't know if it will be that close. But if you're kicking, man alive, you've got to get points anytime you can against Ohio State. So
what a tough spot for the other kicker. I will say this about Bert Auburn is his name. He's been the kicker at Texas for seems like forever.
Yeah.
And I know when I watch big Texas games. Obviously, I'm not watching play Southwest Louisiana, but when I watch Texas play big games over the last 3 or 4 years, that when Bert Auburn comes on, their place kicker, they flash up incredible stats. He's got great numbers. All I know is big games that I've watched Bert Auburn, he's missed a lot of kicks that I've watched. A lot of big kicks.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that as well with him?
Well, I think that's why they're making the change.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
And listen, Terry, I'm telling you, coaches have got to stop doing this. Stop putting all this pressure on your kicker to win the game. Go and try to get the ball in the end zone and not have to worry about it. And particularly if you're behind by 1 or 2 and you're trying to get a field goal to win the game. Man, look, we've never kicked in college, so we don't know.
Sure.
But that pressure has got to be absolutely enormous. And by the way, here's a note that I'm going to be interested in see if they say this tonight. Ohio State's opponents, have you seen this? Have not been called for a single holding penalty on the offensive line since September 21st.
Ohio State's offensive line or their opponent's offensive line?
I'll read it again. Ohio State's opponents have not been called for a single holding penalty since September 21st. So I'm assuming, if I'm reading that right, that is that goes back to the opponents have not been called for that. I mean, that's just kind of strange.
Really, either way that is read would be strange.
It would be. And listen, by the way, a lot will be said about this during the broadcast. These two teams tonight open the season against each other next year.
Yep, they do. So obviously, they won't technically play back. Both teams won't play back to back because somebody's going to win and have another game sandwiched in.
Yes.
But you could basically say they're going to play back to back games. How weird is that?
Right.
And that's in Columbus next year.
Yeah. Hey, if now I'm not saying they will. I think Ohio State will probably win, but if Texas wins, and there will be no Big Ten schools in the championship game. Will these opposing conference fans they will enjoy that all weekend, won't they, Terry?
Oh my goodness, very, very, very much. We've talked about Quinn Ewers. Will Howard, he didn't miss. Now his guys were wide open.
Yes.
Will Howard played better than he's played all year. Hell, the whole team did in the Rose Bowl for Ohio State. But can he duplicate that? Because he's frankly been underwhelming. I watched him at Kansas. He was a Kansas State guy, right?
Yeah.
And he played much better at Kansas State. I think he's had an average year. Can he duplicate back-to-back games? Because Texas needs edge. They need stuff. Texas needs a little help. They need Will Howard to miss some of those guys.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, the problem is if you throw it anywhere near Jeremiah Smith, he's going to get it.
Yeah.
But look, the thing that people forget, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Junkins, who came from Ole Miss, I think that's what's going on. They've been so well balanced that it opens up that passing game.
Yeah.
A lot of times too. But Terry, to your point a minute ago, how can now Ewers, I think, is NFL talent at some point.
Yeah.
But how can these other three? I don't know if I want to call them average because they've won and I think they've been game managers. But and you mentioned this. Terry and I text during games a lot, and you mentioned this last night. I thought about this later. Terry, how can these quarterbacks be so average?
Yeah, it's just terrible quarterback play last night. Just terrible. But those three you talk about, very, very underwhelming. Very underwhelming. Brent, you brought up the Michigan game. Ohio State lost that just weird. And it was a weird game. You talk about a phone booth game, and it was the only way Michigan could beat them.
Yeah.
If Ohio State goes on to win the national title, I think you've said it. I've said it. I think, and it's true. If Ohio State wins the national title, the way it's unfolded, I don't think they would have won it had they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
In a weird way, getting beat by Michigan will be the real precursor to why Ohio State wins it if they win it all. You said it. It's almost like they needed that loss.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you right now, there are Ohio State fans that would give up a national championship just to beat Michigan.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Hey, Zach and I had a fun topic about what you brought up a moment ago, and I want to get your thoughts. And I called them the other day. Brent, you are one, I'm one, we know a million. Traditional SEC fan, okay? Yeah. Think about traditional SEC fan.
Mm-hmm.
It took a while. I feel like Arkansas and South Carolina have now been officially accepted, right? They came in 92.
Right.
I even think that Missouri, not as much, but A&M and Missouri, it's been long enough now. They're kind of, hey, we are SEC. but certainly Oklahoma, Texas, not yet. They haven't quite crossed, it's year one. So traditional SEC fan, I think it would be, if Texas wins the national title, their fan base is going to say,
"Oh,
look at us. We got into the big bad SEC and we won the national title year one."
Yeah.
But here's the comeback for traditional SEC fan, because even though it would be the SEC winning, traditional SEC fan, I don't think would be happy. Well, wait a minute, you haven't paid your dues yet.
Yeah.
The comeback to save SEC fan is, hey, look how tough our conference is. We had a team, Texas won the national title. They couldn't even win our conference.
That's right.
That's the yin and the yang. If Texas wins it, and I think a bunch of SEC fans want Texas to win it.
I do too.
But that's going to be their counter argument to say, wait a minute, Longhorn fan, before you go, well, look at us. We walked into the big bad SEC and we won it. Well, you didn't even win the conference, my man.
That's
so
right.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Isn't that the comeback?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But they've gotten there. And look, Terry, there are times they look unbeatable.
They do.
But the reality is they can look unbeatable in the first half.
Yeah.
And this has happened in their last two games. They've had double-digit leads and almost gave it up in the fourth quarter.
Well, Brent, I have been saying all year as the season has progressed, particularly mid-season on, what I complained about Penn State, Penn State seems to get away with what got them dominating a game. I've seen Penn State do that this year and the last several years. I see a little bit of that in Sarkisian and Texas.
Yeah.
Texas, there's times I'll go, Texas, you're dominating. Why are you trying a cute bubble screen, crackback ball? Why are you doing a halfback pass? What? Texas. Yeah. And I've seen Texas do that this year 2 or 3 times, just like you said.
Oh, yeah.
And with what's working.
Well, and listen, Sark loves to draw plays in the dirt. And I don't know if you saw this or not, but they had they had like a triple reverse. It worked. But I don't with this Ohio State speed, I don't think it's going to work. And now here's something I wanted to ask you. Now there are going to be a lot of people not even able to make it to the game because that Dallas area just a horrific ice and snow. Yeah. But my thing to this is, will the crowd now obviously Austin's near Dallas.
Yeah.
Will the crowd, if those people can get there, Terry, how much will that help Texas, if any?
It should, but I mean, Ohio State, my God, I mean, the Big Ten schools, they go to play, and their big old house, man, they play in front of a big hostile crowd at Michigan and a big hostile crowd at Penn State. And Ohio State is a big national brand. They will represent, if you can get there. Another thing that will help Ohio State, a lot of your Ohio retirees, they go toward Arizona. A lot of people go to Arizona.
Sure
I know when I covered Florida Ohio State national title game in the Fiesta Bowl, that was pointed out that a lot, your Northeastern retirees come down to Florida and the South. That Big Ten country, a lot of those people, Wisconsin people, they retire and they go to the crisp air of the desert. They go to. Yeah. So Arizona area is not far from there, So Ohio State will be represented, and they're a hell of a national brand. That, man.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. But and people may forget the national championship game is in Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta.
So and again, I mean, I tell you one thing, I give Gary Stokin and those folks credit for Mercedes-Benz.
They get
man, do they get big time games, and particularly listen, that SEC Mercedes-Benz marriage will never end.
No, you wouldn't. And they get those games because what was it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they had the Stadium of the Future opened up. I mean, they've got the shiny toy, which hopefully Jacksonville has. Brent, we've got a few minutes left, about 8 minutes left here. We're going to take it to the top. Tomorrow, of course, it's a conference game, so that makes it big. But I outlined with Patrick, tomorrow sets up as a really big game for Florida basketball. The Gators are on the road at Arkansas.
Yes.
Coming off their big win. The schedule for the following 4 games for Florida lightens up. And you can't say that very often. After Arkansas, here's what we got, Brent. I want you to comment on it. Let me set it up. Florida's got Arkansas tomorrow, 4 o'clock in Fayetteville. If the Gators get a win there, it's a big win for Florida. If they can get it 2-1. They then have in order Missouri, Texas, South Carolina, and Georgia. None of those teams are ranked. It's hard to play 4 games in a row in this conference. So if Florida wins tomorrow, it's not out of the realm. They go rattle off 4 more. Well, while Florida will be playing Missouri, Texas, South Carolina, and Georgia, the rest of the conference big boys start butting heads.
Yeah.
So Florida, and I know it'll come back. Everybody's going to have a little run like that. But Florida could make a lot of hay if they win tomorrow and then go sweep those 4 games while Bama plays Kentucky next Saturday, while Auburn and Tennessee play, while A&M and Kentucky. Florida's got a little bit of a crack in the door right now if they can rattle off 4 or 5 more wins in a row.
The advantage they've got right now is Arkansas struggling at 0-2.
Yeah.
Now, but see, that also makes Calipari pretty dangerous, even though they're struggling with their out of bounds plays. Booger Flan is a good player also. And again, it's just tough to win on the road. But to your point, of all those teams, I think Texas would be the toughest team they would have to play.
Probably.
All in all. Now, Tennessee plays Texas tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see if Tennessee can rebound.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is at Georgia tomorrow. Alabama.
That's the biggest game.
Alabama's got a tough game at
Texas A&M.
A&M. And I don't think Wade Taylor's going to play, Terry, because he got a groin injury.
Yeah, he missed they got the win, but he missed his last game. Yeah, Alabama A&M is the marquee game really in the country. It's a top 10 matchup. Absolutely. It's a big top 10 matchup, definitely. We keep saying it. It's going to be a lot of fun. This SEC basketball is going to be a lot of fun. Getting back to Calipari in Arkansas, the opponent for Florida tomorrow, it's probably going to be a tough first year at least for Calipari at Arkansas because he doesn't have a great roster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to wow you. He doesn't have Kentucky talent, but every time he rolls in, there's something about Calipari that the visiting team loves to beat Calipari.
Yeah.
And he's going into this season, I think, with one arm tied behind his back a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's going to get roughed up a lot, I think, this first year. And the opposing team fan bases are going to love it.
Yeah, boy, oh boy, can you imagine? And I need to double check this. I assume they go to Lexington at some point. That's going to be fascinating to see. Now, another big game tomorrow is Kentucky's number 6 and Mississippi State's 14.
Yeah.
So, and they're going on about the same time the Alabama A&M game is going on. Mississippi State's 2-0, better than people think they are. Also, so look, there's no doubt about it. The great thing about this league, and I understand why Patrick doesn't want to do this and be on there on Saturday, but man alive, the great thing for fans, man, you start at noon, you go past midnight. In these SEC games.
Help me with something about the rankings. It appears that the new ranking didn't come out this week. I'm on ESPN, and I've been looking for a couple of days because I was wondering, would Florida jump back? Florida was 6, lost to Kentucky, dropped to 8. Well, they went out and beat Tennessee. And when did the Tennessee game happen after these new rankings came out, or? I'm a little confused because I'm looking at men's college basketball rankings,
right?
And it has AP Tennessee 14-0. Well, they're 14-1. Coaches poll Tennessee number 1, 14-0. Well, they're 14-1. A little confused what's going on with these rankings.
Well, I heard several announcers say during the games that when the rankings come out, obviously in next week, that they won't be number one. So that was kind of the mantra.
I always thought, but here we are sitting at Friday after the Tuesday, Wednesday games. It seems like they've missed a week of rankings. I don't know. maybe I'm nuts. Brent, you see Ohio State winning tonight? Big fight. Texas game?
I think they probably are able to pull away and end up winning by double digits. But I think what you said is the key to the game. Terry, they really need to be ahead at the end of the first quarter, 10-0 or 14-0.
Yeah,
they need to make Ohio State chase points, frankly, and they need to be able to control the ball. Terry, will Arch get in at all?
Boy, I tell you, why would you, if you get into that early third quarter, and the game feels like, and you can feel a game, even as the scoreboard does it, you can feel a game. If not tonight, at the season will end. You got to believe if Texas doesn't put points on the board, their first, 3 drives.
Yeah.
Don't you look for a spark?
Sure.
And then say, hell, if we get beat 45-0, big deal.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you think he gets in? If Texas got to score the first 2 or 3 drives, or you got to give them a shot, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. And by the way, if Texas wins and they win the title, does the NFL come at Sark pretty hard?
You would think so. He's got the double resume, right? He's got an NFL experience.
Yeah.
Well, he's been a fun reclamation project.
He truly has.
Because he had demons.
Oh yes.
Kiffin, you kind of compare those two. People laughed at him. They can't win and all, but Kiffin more people don't like his personality. A little too forward. That's what ticks people off with Kiffin, and he got his job young in the NFL. Sark, he had demons. And he had to overcome demons.
Yeah.
And it appears, people wrote him off. Sarkisian, look at him. He's going to Alabama to rehab. He'll never. Well, you know what? He had a list of things he had to do to correct his life, and it looks like he did them, right?
And listen, this is hard to believe, but let me put something in perspective for you. 1 year ago today, Nick Saban retired.
1 year ago. Well, Brent, 20 seconds real quick. Over under Matthew McConaughey's shots on TV tonight.
Over.
Whatever
they love him. They love it. Terry. He'll be in a fur coat too, won't he?
He will.
It'll be
That'll
19 and a half, and it'll be over.
Yeah, there you go. I say. And that'll wrap it up. Have a great weekend. We'll review everything on Monday, the Young and Norvelle Show. See you, everybody.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. BRIX JAX Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at BRIX JAX Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at BRIX JAX Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports JAX to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News JAX in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports JAX 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports JAX 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since